Lately, I've been losing sleep.
Alright guys, I'm back and I just want to say a big thank you to you all. This video today is going to be a top 10 video. Reason being, last top 10 I did was my top 10 favourite films, and that was for my 50 subscribers. Well, just this week I have hit 100 subscribers. So I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for subscribing as well. I really appreciate it. So this video is for you guys. It's going to be the top 10. My top 10 favourite TV series. It was a hard list to do. It was a hard list to go through because there's a lot of shows I really do enjoy, but these are the shows that I could just re-watch constantly if I had a chance to. The shows I love to watch, and I just love all the acting, love the characters and everything in it. So let's get started on this list, guys, let's get through it. So at number 10 is Bones. I really do like this series. I prefer it much more than CSI. I just think it's better written, the characters are more interesting, and I just really enjoyed this from the very first series. It is on its 9th series and it's still going pretty strong, I'd say. There are a few storylines which are a little bit weak, but all in all I think this is a great show. Very entertaining, very enjoyable, and as I said, the characters and the actors in it are fantastic. They don't ever seem to let me down in it. It's very good acting. But yeah, great show, and that's in at my number 10. Number 9. Now, I'm not really a fan of TV remakes and stuff, but I never really was a fan of the original. I don't know if that's going to annoy people or not, but I watched this when it started in 2010, I think, and I really enjoyed it. Again, the camaraderie between the actors and just the general storylines are excellent. I really do enjoy it, and that is Hawaii Five-0. It is a really good series, and it's definitely worth a check out, guys. I mean, it's going quite cheap anyway. But it is a very entertaining series. The storylines are very good. There is a long storyline that's been playing through all the series so far, and it's dragging a little bit, but I do enjoy it. And most of the episodes are excellent. And as I say, the cast are brilliant, especially Scott Caan. I think he's very entertaining. So number 8. This is a British TV series, and I wanted to at least feature one. I actually got 2 in this list, but this one, again, I started quite late on. I think I started when it was in its 3rd series, and I catched up through DVD. Again, I really enjoyed it, and I really do like the actors, and it's a shame that there seems to have been a bit of a fallout between the two leads, but that is Gavin and Stacey. Very, very heartfelt TV series, well written as well by James Corden and Ruth Jones. They are fantastic comedians, and it shows in this that their timing and their comedic timing is brilliant, and it is an excellent show. Again, I really enjoyed it when I started watching it, and there's no real episode that I don't like. All very entertaining, all very enjoyable. Number 7, guys. Again, it was a toss-up between 2 series, and unfortunately the other one I've decided to put in my honourable mentions, but I'll mention it later. This series I just watched, and I just think it is a little bit funny because the other series has now started to lose its appeal. I don't think it's as funny as it was. It still is funny, but not as good. But this show, every episode cracks me up, and that is The Big Bang Theory. Into its 7th series, I think, and it is still as funny as it was when I first started watching the first series. Very entertaining. Again, all the cast are excellent, and the new additions they've had, which along the way, they've really just brought a great sense of enjoyment to the show, and you can see everyone enjoys being part of it. So it is a great show. Definitely check it out. This next series, again, it was a toss-up between another series and this one, but I just thought this was much darker, more enjoyable, and the storylines were much better in it. Much better. I just think the cast was better as well. Some of the characters they brought into it were better, and again, the storylines for me were flowed a lot better, and there weren't as many duff episodes as there were in this other series. But this is Angel, another David Boreanaz show. Again, I know it's a little bit sad that I'm a fan of this, but I enjoy it. I think it's a very good show. It's gritty, it's dark, and it was different when it came out. And again, it was a shame it was ended the way it did. I think the show was going strong. The 5th series was very good, very enjoyable, and it shouldn't have been cancelled there. And I know a lot of people disagreed with it being cancelled, but unfortunately, that's how it goes. But I'm glad I got this, and I absolutely adore the box set. I think this is like the first style of digibook, but I know these were very expensive when they came out, and I'm just glad I picked them up because they are a lovely set, and I've got them all for Angel and for Buffy. So glad I have it. Great set and a great watch. Now this next set is a little bit big. It's very heavy, so I won't hold it too long. But again, this is a show I picked up when I was in my teens, and again, most episodes crack me up. There are a few episodes I could just skip past because they weren't as interesting. And again, it did wane a few series in, and it was a little bit predictable. But still, every time I catch it up on it on TV, or if I watch the DVDs back, most of the episodes crack me up. I love it. I love the actors. They all work so well, and you can see it on screen, and they can see that they are friends outside of it, and that is Friends, the huge, ridiculous 10-disc box set. Love this show, guys. I know most people do. It is very enjoyable. It is something I can just sit, if I'm in a bad mood, I can sit down, stick it on, and it will crack me up just because of the way that it's written. It's very funny, very, very enjoyable. So I'm glad that I picked this up and I watched it when I did, because it got me through my teens. It was very funny. Now, unfortunately, this next show I do have on Blu-ray. I just don't have it. Unfortunately, my wife lent it out to one of her colleagues, so I just wanted to quickly mention it. It's a shame I don't have it with me, but I do love it. It is very well written, much better than the I know it came out first anyway, but it's much better than the American counterpart, and that is Sherlock. Beautiful modern retelling of the Sherlock stories. I mean, I'm not really the biggest Sherlock fan. I do enjoy the movies, and I've got to say I do enjoy the TV series. I think it's fantastic, and I do like Elementary sometimes. Most of the time it is good, but there's something about Sherlock in the modern setting in London. I think it's fantastic. And again, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Martin Freeman are fantastic together. You can see they enjoy working with each other, and when they're on that screen together and they're bickering between each other, it's brilliant. It's very enjoyable, and again, the stories are so well written, and it does keep you guessing quite a lot of the time. Excellent series, and I urge anyone who has not seen it to check it out, because honestly you will not be disappointed, and it is much better than Elementary. But Elementary is enjoyable in its own right, but just not as good as Sherlock. Not as good as Sherlock. And that is it, guys. We're down to the top 3 shows. Now, it was very hard for me to put this into 1, 2 and 3, but it was just because of how I felt about the shows that these are how they're placed. I love all 3 of them a lot, but obviously only one could be number 1. I would love them all to be number 1, but they're not. But let's get started with number 3, and that is AMC's The Walking Dead. A fantastic show. Really enjoy it. People are saying it's a little bit slow, but I enjoy the characters and I enjoy the character building, because it's showing you what would happen in dire circumstances. I know a zombie apocalypse, it will never happen. It is scientifically impossible, but still, it just shows you how people react to such, a terrible Armageddon, to say. Armageddon, yeah. I don't know if that's the best description of it, but yeah, it's it just shows you people how they will change, and how they were once good, and now that all this has happened and people have better provisions than others, that what they will do to get that, just to help their own friends or family or whatever. It's a very enjoyable series, and it's on the 4th series now, and I still enjoy it. I still think it's very well written, and the people just got to give it time. And I think it's probably not as well written as the next show I'm going to show, but it's still a very enjoyable series, and it is my number 3. Right, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with my number 2, but it's my number 2, unfortunately. I love it, and the only reason it is number 2 is because I came to it very late. I do enjoy it very much. I love the series, but the series above it I watched pretty much from the start, and I absolutely loved. So it was hard to put it in there, but I would have liked it to be number 1, but it's my number 2, and that is Breaking Bad. Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, phenomenal. The whole way through this series, fantastic. I was rooting for them both every time I watched an episode. Even just showing Walter White's just downfall. From this really caring guy to this drug baron, and willing to do anything just for his how he wanted his money and all that. It was a very fantastic series, and it kept me hooked from episode 1 to the very end to the finale, and it paid off. The finale was excellent as well, and a lot of series when they end, the finale's not as great as people are expecting, but this really was, and I would urge anyone that hasn't seen it to definitely give it a watch. Give the first season a watch on Netflix or pick up the DVD, Blu-ray or whatever. Give it a try. It is worth it. Anyway, that's my number 2. First though, I just wanted to, before I unveil my number 1 TV series, I wanted to do some honourable mentions to some shows that obviously I do enjoy but just didn't make it into that top 10. Those being Dexter. I just thought that was a great show, but it just really got, the last series, it was disappointing, and it wasn't as good as the first few series. How I Met Your Mother was another one. I absolutely adored that show from the start. I think it's still as enjoyable, but there are a few episodes where it's starting to be a little bit silly, and it's not as funny as it once was. What else was there? Buffy the Vampire Slayer, again, not as dark as Angel. I just preferred Angel that little bit more. Firefly, fantastic series, but because I only had one series, I just think it didn't have the chance to really develop, but still very enjoyable series, and there was the movie, which I enjoyed just as much. In Between, it's another great show, and I'm looking forward to the second film coming out. And all TV series that I would love to have put in my top 10, but I just couldn't possibly fit them in because there was just too many other shows that I preferred. So, my number 1 show. The show that I absolutely adore, and the moment I watched the first series, I was hooked. And I've been hooked ever since day 1 to day 8. See if you get that reference. That is 24. Kiefer Sutherland, I've always loved him as an actor, and then when I heard he was doing a TV series, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Checked the first series out, heard a few things about it, and the first episode just had me hooked. Just the format, the idea of it, the real-time aspect was fantastic. It was different as well, different for the time. We had all these story arcs in TV series which would play over a whole series, which is, I enjoy those kind of story arcs, but I just enjoyed the fact that this was one day, and it just kept, it kept you on your seat, on the edge of your seat, sorry, all the time. Yes, it did wane. I think one of the worst series was season 4, and season 6 was a little bit shoddy in places, but it picked up again with season 7 and 8, and again, one of my favourite shows. It was my number 1 TV show, and I cannot wait for the mini series to start in May. I'm really looking forward to that. So chuffed that it's coming back. I think it needed to come back, especially with the way it ended. It was a nice ending, but I'm looking forward to being back, and I can't wait to check it out. But that is my number 1. So, hope you enjoy this, guys. It's a long list. I know it's a very strange list, but I'm just glad you took the time to check it out. Thank you so much for watching again. That is my top 10 TV shows. And check out my next video. It will be a comp, and it's going to be linked to this a little bit. Well, it's going to be linked to it mostly. And you'll see why in the comp video in a minute, or when you check it out next, or look. So please check that video out, and again, thank you so much for the support I've had from you guys. I really do appreciate it. I never thought I'd hit 100 subscribers, so thank you so much for that, and I'll see you in the comp video in a second. So see you guys.